We have a caller, and
we do.
I want them to ask their question.
Caller.
Hello, caller. Do you have a comment or a question?
Yes, I have a question. With kids with autism, I'm a prayer professional, and kids with autism, sometimes they come in with a new behavior, and you try to, at some point, you're trying to stop the behavior, but is there a way, when you first see it, to stop it? Because most kids, when they come in with a new behavior, they know that it's either to stop the class from going on, or it's just to stop what they don't want to do. Is there anything that we can do to kind of help them along the way so that it doesn't get out of hand?
Sure. So, and thank you for the call. What I always say in regards to behavior is, if we've allowed a behavior to take place prior to the behavior, we've dropped the ball. Once a behavior occurs, something happened prior to that to cause that behavior to happen. Now, I'm not suggesting for a moment that we're all fortune tellers or soothsayers and can predict the future, but we need to do the best within our capabilities to keep our children's lives consistent and based on the routine in which they're comfortable. If a behavior is to occur, and it will, I mean, that's just the nature of the diagnosis. Our children transition through behaviors throughout their entire life. We need to do one of two things. We initially need to do everything in our power to prevent that behavior from happening, and that means maintaining the consistency within the child's life. But once that behavior does happen, let's try to recognize it as soon as possible. And in 9.5 out of 10 times, a behavior is a means of communication and should not be treated punitively. When our children are, and unfortunately I know, disrupting the classroom or monopolizing the time of the teacher, it's not always because they're acting out or being mischievous, but it's because they're trying to tell you something. And unfortunately don't always have the skill set to do so, especially if we're talking about a child that's nonverbal. And that's really how I always suggest we look at behaviors, as a form of communication. What is that child trying to tell me? And once we can answer that individually or as a team or working in conjunction with the parent, then we can work to start to alleviate the behavior.
We're starting to look at things such as behaviors and not, see that as a grounds for punishment, but a grounds for he's trying to communicate, and that we need to dig deeper.
Sure, absolutely.
So one thing I definitely want to do is I want people to see your website. And we have that. Let me pull that up for you. Because I don't know about you guys, but I am always on the web. And sometimes I forget addresses and everything that'll be on the show. But I want you guys to Google RCADD, RCADD, and you will find this website along with the information about UIC, about RCADD, and the 2 locations as well.